Turning now to From the Farm, the election is over and rural areas all voted red.
Our ag reporter Stu Ellis is joining us in studio. Good morning, Stu. How many farmers are still worried?
Well, many farmers are kind of holding their breath. They're hoping for lower costs for crop production, but there could be a nasty kick in the shin from the next administration if tariffs are placed on all the imported fertilizers that farmers need, according to Josh Linville. He's Vice President of Fertilizer for the Corn Belt company StoneX.
And a lot of folks have come and said, this is great for farmers. You know, they're going to rescind all of this stuff. He's really for the American ag. He's going to get rid of this stuff, lower our prices. But the problem is Trump leans into his tariffs. He's got a history of using them. I'm not saying he's going to continue that, but if you think about it, all the tariffs against Chinese fertilizer imports, that 25% tariff came from the Trump administration. So I'm a little more nervous we might see more tariffs than not. And right now, when it comes to, say, Russia, we have got tariffs on their phosphate, but not on potash, not on nitrogen. And I am very hopeful Trump will be able to leverage his relationship with Putin to get it so that they get along a little bit better. Maybe they can find some situation where they are willing to work with each other, right? We don't have the fighting going on. But if they start to get into a little bit of an ego, button heads, and Trump starts to pull out these tariffs, well, now we've lost another supplier of potash. Now we've lost another supplier of nitrogen. That's the worry. He likes to use these tariffs as a tool. We'll see if he does that on fertilizer.
That's going to really almost put fertilizer application almost too expensive for an awful lot of farmers.
It's going to be tough. Fortunately, potash is already very well priced. A lot of supply out there. Thank goodness we have Canada to our north. More than enough product up that direction. On the nitrogen side, fortunately, there's a lot of nitrogen produced around the world. The one that worries me is UAN. If he puts tariffs on Russia UAN, there's not a lot of those tons around the world. That removes a competitor from the U.S. marketplace.
Linville says U.S. phosphate mines barely escaped being a casualty with hurricane that recently swept across Florida.
Milton, people don't realize this. If that storm had been 35 miles north, Tampa Bay is dealing with 10 to 15-foot storm surge, devastating to the region. We were literally 35 miles away from having a completely different conversation today.
Josh Linville says the fertilizer has to wait for spring application because of inclement weather. He says supplies are plentiful because very little may be applied this fall. But he warns the UAN and ammonia situation with Russia could certainly drive nitrogen fertilizer prices higher into next spring. And so farmers are going to have to remain tenacious when they're dealing with fertilizer costs.